Brown and Gray, Top Down from 2017 here on Penn's Peak Radio's Morning Lifeline. I always get excited and pumped up when I have guests in the studio, and today one of my all-time favorite people, and he and I go way back, and that's Mark Demko from Musikest, and Mark and I go back, gosh, it had to be, what, Mark, mid to late 80s, right?
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I had hair then. It was things were a lot better, and everything, but so Mark always took very, very, very good care of me, and whenever I was working at a radio station up in the Stroudsburg, and I would call Mark and say, okay, Bobby, we'll get you down, and one time they forgot to leave my credential. Mark took me right down, and we saw, like, it was Blessed Union of Souls.
Yes.
Took me right down to the quad down there, and I'll never forget that. Mark always treated me with so much respect, and I'll never forget that, buddy. I really, really appreciate all you've done for me over, these last several years. So thank you so much for that. Mm-hmm. And then I have with me now today the River Drivers, and the River Drivers. My first question, Mindy, I'll ask you, because you're probably the leader of the group, aren't you?
I'm not sure about that.
A strong woman, yeah, you're the leader of the group.
We gotta follow.
Now you guys are going to be playing at Musikfest. Where did the River Drivers come from? Where did the name come from? Did you know somebody who worked on?
No, we do a lot of songs that are about like hardworking people and labor. Our town, all of us have some connection with the town of Bristol where we come from, which is on the river,
okay.
And so it just kind of fit. It's a song that like we actually messed around with. We don't do now that it's our name, but it was just it seemed to fit our music and our personalities.
Yeah, and I like your style. And you guys have heard of the Yonder Mountain string band, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be here, in the next couple of days, and I was listening to your music, and you guys kind of remind me of them a little bit, Seriously,
that's a compliment.
There's like a parallel there, and it's really nice. You guys use the mandolin, and banjo, all these kinds of cool stuff. I mean, instruments that you don't normally hear. You usually hear like the bass and it's not acoustic, but the electric guitars and stuff. So I like it now. They have like the banjo and the mandolin, and I think that's more of an art form, to be honest. Listen, I'm not musically inclined, so anything is an art form. But I think with the mandolin, the mandolin and the banjo, or the bandolin, we could combine them into one. That works. I mean, you need so much talent for that kind of stuff,
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover. We're inspired by a lot of the same stuff, American folk and Appalachian type stuff. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing for 18 years. I think I started playing guitar when I was like 14 or so, 13 or 14. Still play the same 3 chords, but
I'm just hoping that question's not coming at me.
Wow, so you've been playing, would you say, 14 years?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'd say,
you're a young guy. I wouldn't have thought you were, near 30. I thought you were like maybe 23, 24 years old.
Yeah, no. When I shave, I look like I'm like 14. So it's
and then when you have the mountain scruff, all of a sudden, you turn into something totally different.
Yeah.
So. Now, how did you guys meet? How do you know one another?
This is kind of
I'll
funny.
let you
Okay.
go for it.
Which story should I use? Well, we all knew each other. I'm friends with a lot of his relatives, his aunts and uncles, his parents. He went to school with my daughter, who's also in the band. We have 2 other band members. My daughter Megan plays the fiddle and the Irish flute, and our friend Marion Moran plays the Irish whistles and the concertina.
Oh, neat.
So we just, with the work schedules, we couldn't all, get here. Oh, probably couldn't all fit here.
Yeah. No, we'd fit you.
You'll fit, okay.
For
next year, we'll remember that.
For fiddle and an Irish whistle, we'll put you in there. We'll get you.
Yeah. So then, we kind of started playing together. A local church was doing this. They wanted a throwback mass from the 60s, and they wanted a folk mass, and I had actually played those way back when, and the woman who asked me was his aunt, and she said, would you do this? And I'm thinking, I don't know, it's been a long time, and she said, my nephew will help you with it, this will be good. And I said, okay. And then when we started playing, it was like, we have a lot of common musical interests, and so we all got together. And that was about 5 years ago now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, chemistry is so important, no matter what it is. You know,
Right.
like with Mark, you know, putting together a Musikfest year in, year out. I remember, like I said, when Mark was starting out years ago, and he worked with some outstanding people, and it just has grown to the amazing event that it has become. And it's coming up on August 3rd and run through the 12th down there in Center City, Bethlehem, and over there on the south side near the Banana Factory and Steel Stacks. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's just the evolution of this event from when we had a couple of tents down there under the hill-to-hill bridge with several bands to where it is today.
Right.
It's just so great. And like we were talking about chemistry, you see a lot of bands that play down there, and there's that chemistry, that magic that happens when they start to hook up with one another.
Right. Sure.
So Mark, now with what attracted you to the River Drivers? Because I know you preview and you guys have a group that sits down and listens to various musicians. Oh yeah, they're great. We want to bring them in. What caught your ear?
So one of the interesting things about Musikfest is that as we've grown over the years, we started as a community-based and community-focused festivals. A lot of people don't realize this. When we started in '84, so 35th year, we had one staff member, 400 volunteers, and almost all the artists were from the Lehigh Valley. As we've grown as an organization, our focus has been on presenting the great musicians and bands in the region, Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey. About 40% of the acts come from the Lehigh Valley, and 70% come from surrounding area, and we really try to showcase the world of music. So one of the things about Musikfest is when you come to the festival, you're going to hear almost every musical style imaginable, and that's one of the things that people really love. You go from stage to stage, or plots to plots, place in German,
Right.
Both plots
and you get to hear this
American.
incredible array of music and musicianship. And at Lyric Plots, where you're performing, we try to showcase incredible acoustic performers. You can find everything from full bands doing acoustic sets to singer-songwriters and things like that. It's a great venue to hear incredible musicianship, quality artists from throughout our region. And actually one of the great things this year is we've expanded Musikfest hours a little bit.
Oh, you have?
On the Steel Stacks, where you're playing, on the weekends, we're going to open at noon this year for the first time. Historically, we've opened around 4 or 5 o'clock on the weekends. This year, we're going to open at noon with tribute acts from Neil Young, Jerry Garcia Band, and things like that. And then we're going to open Lyric Plots at 2 o'clock, and our other venue there is going to open at 1 o'clock. So we're going to have live music during most of the day now on Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, that's exciting.
So that's one of the ways we're looking to celebrate our 35th year this year. And so we're pretty excited because that allowed us to bring in about 25 additional bands this year.
Wow. So all together, what do you got, 400 about?
Yeah, each year we have approximately 400 performers and about 525 performances. Musikfest obviously spread over 57 acres throughout the city of Bethlehem with 16 musical stages. Affords us an opportunity to bring in a lot of great bands from great local acts like we just talked about to nationally touring artists. And so a couple of years ago we hit that benchmark where we were bringing about 400 artists and doing over 500 performances a year. We just actually looked back at the number since it's an anniversary year, and even I was astounded. We've done about 17,000 free performances since the first Musikfest in 1984.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You know, and then with great acts like we have with the River Drivers, you have Jason Mraz and Brantley Gilbert, Jim Gaffigan, a comedian, and Kesha. Saw Kesha there a couple of years ago. My daughter loved it with the big pink pig. And then Mark Broussard, Colony House, Marshall Crenshaw, the Squirrel Nut Zippers, who we play, believe it or not, here on Penn Speak Radio, the original Whalers, and so many more. And wow, 400 performers, that's cool. And Porter and Sales, are they coming back there this year? Do you remember?
Yes, I think they're performing. I don't have the dates or the venue in my head,
because they're coming in tomorrow, and I love this is one part of my job I love when I get great local acts and regional acts in here. It's so exciting to hear all different styles, and there's so much talent, just all over, but in and around the Lehigh Valley area and the entire region. So when Mark and his crew are sitting there picking people to come down, they're like, oh my gosh, it's got to be tough. So many amazing acts. And do people send CDs into you, Mark, or do you check them out on YouTube, or how do you work the process?
So we have a performing arts department that actually does all of the booking of all the bands.
Mark's the big cheese now, so he's got his own.
And for Steel Stacks. and we get several thousand electronic press kits submitted every year. And between our performing arts team and we have a performing arts committee, they sit and review all the submissions. And I touched on this earlier, but we're really committed to giving great local artists a chance to perform. So we always try to work in new artists to the festival every year. Yeah, we're going to bring back the festival favorites like the Amish Outlaws and the Red Elvises and things like that, but we really want to try and bring in new acts every year.
Amish Outlaws.
And that's how some of those festival favorites started many, many years ago.
Yeah. Well, I remember we saw the Red Elvises the first time they were down there. We're like, what? What's this? You know, and then, you know, Igor, whatever he says the name, everybody always messes it up. But, you know, they've changed and they've transitioned over the last several years, but they're still so popular, and their music gets you all, pumped up and fired up. And that's what I like about your venue. You can go over and you can hear Latino favorites, and you can hear, you know, everything from, you know, people playing Irish folk tunes, and it's just, and polkas. I mean, the polka tent. Volksplots, and I mean so many fun things there. I mean, no matter what kind of music, like I said, I'm going to get out and see Marshall Crenshaw, and he was a new wave guy back in the early to mid 80s, and it's just so cool to see, and as Mark was saying, so many different genres of music being showcased at such an event. And then of course the food. We'll talk about the food in a little bit. But you guys want to kick it off and play something for us right now?
Yeah, sure.
Now, did you write this?
This one I did not write.
You stole it?
I stole it. It's the great thing about folk music. It's a song that was written in the 80s in England and actually in Wales during a lot of layoffs at mines. And it's a song that talks about the struggles that these miners went through. Just being laid off with no job to go to after that, and these towns. I think this is very similar to parts of Pennsylvania where that depended on these mines.
Oh yes, Centralia, you know, with the mines and then those mine fire. I mean, yeah, it's
this is a song a lot of people I haven't heard many recordings of it, and I thought it's just a beautiful song when I heard it. So it's called Johnny Miner, and yeah, we're hoping it'll be on our next album that we're working on.
Oh, great.
So.
All right, looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah, so this is Johnny Miner. Oh, Johnny Miner, you were born there to see the rise and dawn. Now it's time that you were gone. Farewell, Johnny Miner. And farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny Miner. They've promised you the earth sometimes to get cold from their stinking mines. Now the justice for their crimes is farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, you've battled with the sliding scale. Lungs turn black and faces pale. Now your body's up for sale. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny Miner. And farewell, John, don't take it hard. Unemployment isn't bad. They'll treat you well in the knacker's yard. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Oh, farewell, Johnny Miner.
You have the coolest voice. Oh my God, it's so good. You guys are so clean, and so good.
Oh,
and I don't know if you know this, but I'm Scottish, Welsh, Irish, and German.
I think we covered most of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So you're singing it, and I'm like getting goosebumps, you know, because my ancestors were, you know, back in, you know, in Scotland and stuff like that, and it kind of like makes you go, wow, and it just brings you right back. But good job.
Oh, thank you.
Real
Thank
good
you.
job.
I
You should
appreciate
steal it and say, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah. I gotta give credit.
It's a
No, I
nice
know.
song.
I'm just kidding. You guys are good, but you guys are really good. And I'm looking at your banjo. How old's that banjo? That's a beautiful banjo.
I don't know. It precedes me. I got it at a flea market like probably about 25, 30 years ago.
That's cool.
So,
It's
yeah.
got a lot of, probably has a lot of history to it. You
I'm sure, yeah. But if it could talk, but yeah.
Yeah, if it could talk, right?
If it could talk, it
I'm
would
glad
talk.
some things can't talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
really.
I'm with you there.
Especially banjos.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or mandolins. But
uh-huh.
that was terrific. Really good job.
Thank you.
Really
I
good
appreciate
job.
it. It's one of my favorites to play right now.
Yeah.
So now, where did the River Drivers play primarily? Where do you tour and those kinds of things?
Oh,
You
we've
go
done,
all over?
we've done some of the bigger festivals. Like we did the main stage at the New Jersey Folk Festival. We've done like the Arts Festival, you know, in at Penn State. We've done we just got back from like a small tour through West Virginia. You know, we played. They have a Carnegie Hall down there. There's actually 3 Carnegie Halls, and one of them is in Lewisburg, West Virginia, and it was redone about 30 years ago. It's a beautiful venue. So that was actually an outdoor performance, but it drew like about 400, you know, people, which was really exciting. And then, you know, so we did some local things down there because a lot of our music, you know, is derived from their area as well. So that was, you know, that's I guess the second time we had gone down there like a year and a half after the floods, like for some fundraising, like a fundraising tour, and and we you know, we do some local stuff. You know, we play a lot at, I don't know if you guys know Albert Hall in Jersey. It's a venue that's all of the money raised by the venue goes to the Pinelands Preservation. So it's a huge venue. I mean, that's about like maybe 350 seats or something.
Yeah.
But it's a big local favorite down there. So we do that several times a year, you know, to help out down there. But we love it. That's like one of our favorite places. It's kind of like the Grand Ole Opry in New Jersey. You know, oh yeah, look it up. It's like it's a cool place.
I will actually. I will.
But yeah, so places like that.
Yeah.
And, you know.
We got to shout out our local, like Trenton, Trinidad.
Yes,
Trenton
yes,
is one of our
yes. Kevin does a
regular
lot.
places.
Kevin does a lot of like of the Irish music as well. You know, he's very well known in our area for that, and his dad was well known for that.
Are you
in our
Irish?
area.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Irish, Italian.
Yeah, I do Irish music. I'm Czechoslovakian.
It's,
but
it happens.
Yes,
you
yeah,
meet all
yeah,
kinds of people
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it. We were at a festival in Ireland a few years ago, and we made some friends from Japan, from
yeah.
met people from Italy that are playing the Irish bagpipes, and
No kidding.
Marion actually is from like Donegal, so she has a place there. So we went over and we played at the Cup of Tea festival, and that's what Kevin's talking about. But it was neat because it was her hometown where this big festival was, and to just play it was like just really a neat.
And she could show you the lay of the land. And give
Yes,
you the tour
oh,
and-
she did. She was a great tour guide. Let me tell you. Yeah,
Well, that's one of my
It was
goals.
great.
I want to get over there to Scotland and Ireland and, you know, see some of our, you know, a friend of mine I used to work with years ago, she came back with our crest, our family crest, Barclan. And I'm like, wow, it was phenomenal. My mom, my whole life was telling me I was mostly Irish. Turns out I was mostly Scottish. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, well, kind of. I said, did you have, because her maiden name was McWilliams.
Okay.
And, well, her mom's maiden name was McWilliams, and then her father was Schaefer, but she was like Irish. But then my father was mostly Scottish and Welsh and those kinds of things. So I'm like, Mom, so you're trying to blow Dad out. You're trying to push Dad to the side and tell me, that we're mostly Irish when we're really mostly Scottish. And she just laughed, So for many years, I thought I was Irish, mostly Irish, but it turns out I was mostly Scottish. So, so it was just fun stuff. But it's neat when you go over there, and you see the history and you see, songs that, like you said, are important to you and what you're singing about and the origin and everything like that. It probably means even more to you to go and experience stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm going back soon, and I told
take me with you.
I told my girlfriend, I was like, we're going to be seeing a lot of cemeteries and battlefields, and
it's a good time.
It's a great like
a lot of beer.
So excited. I'm like.
Yeah.
No,
well, that's why they drink so much over there, because of all the cemeteries and battlefields.
It's
they
true,
try to drown us. No, but good for you. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How long of a trip is it to get from here over there? Is it?
It's a 6-hour flight.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. No,
yeah.
it's not bad.
You gain a few hours when you get there, so it's
not bad.
Time traveling. So.
Nice. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come right back. I want you guys to play more. We're going to talk with Mark more about Musikfest and all the great food. And for foodies out there, you got to stay tuned for that. And people who love music, keep listening to the River Drivers. We'll be back with more great music right here on Penn's Peak Radio's Morning Lifeline. Jennifer Nettles, Taylor Swift, Sugarland with Babe. New music right here on Penn's Peak Radio's Morning Lifeline. And I'm honored today to have the River Drivers in here. My good buddy, Mark Demko, who is probably the head honcho next to Jeff at Musikfest. And I know you're very modest, Mark, and you don't like to be singled out, but for what you do down there, you do an outstanding job. So you deserve a lot of credit. You've helped to take Musikfest with all these volunteers, thousands of volunteers, and take it to the next level. So you should be very proud of what you and your whole team have accomplished. So,
well, thank you. It actually takes a village to put on Musikfest. We have about 1,500 volunteers who lend a hand with the festival every year. That's astounding in its own right, but when you think about it, they do actually do 21,000 hours, so 1 million people can come out and enjoy that free music. And this year's an anniversary year, it's our 35th year, and we have 13 volunteers who have actually dedicated their time for every single Musikfest. I can't even imagine donating half of my life or a third of my life to volunteering for one organization and one event. The fact they come out year in and year out and they're still going strong. We couldn't do it without the volunteers. We couldn't do it without the artists, the support of the city, our corporate partners. It really takes a lot of elements to make this giant music festival go off every year.
Yeah, and the Bethlehem Police Department, they do an outstanding job. Never any trouble. They're just it's an awesome event all around. Now that it's over on the south side, it expanded. It's still still no trouble. It's just fantastic. Everybody's pretty responsible too. You have a lot of people there who are there for the right reasons. That's really great. All right, so I want you guys to sing, and then I want to talk to Mark about some food.
Oh yeah.
All right, but I want you guys to sing another song, another one of your favorites.
Well, we were going to do something else, but when you said that you have Scottish blood, we have to do this. This was from our first album, so this is Aaron Go Bra, and it's a Dicko hand song. My name's Duncan Campbell from the shore of Argyll. Travelled this country for many a mile. Travelled through Ireland, Scotland and all. And the name I go under is Aaron Go Bra. One night in Old Reekie I walked down the street when a big old policeman I chanced for to meet. He glared in my face and he gave me some jaw, saying, "Where do you come from, bold Aaron Go Bra?" Well, I am not a Pat, though in Ireland I've been. I am not a Pat, though Ireland I've seen. I am not a Patty, what is it to you? There are many bold heroes in Aaron Go Bra. Well, I know you're a Pat by the cut of your hair. You all turn to Scotsmen as soon as you're here. You left this fair country for breaking the law. Now we'll season all stragglers for Aaron Go Bra. And were I a Pat, and you know that it's true, and were I a devil, what is it to you? Were it not for that stick that you held in your paw, I would
would show you a game played in Erin Go Bra. And a lump of blackthorn that I held in my fist, around his thick body I gave it a twist, and blood from his napper I quickly did draw. I had paid him stock interest in Erin Go Bra. Then the people came round like a flock of wild geese, saying, catch that daft rascal, he's killed the police. For every friend I had, I swear they had twa. It was terrible hard times for Erin Go Bra. And the Weebo came up that sailed from the north. I gathered my gear and I sailed further north. Goodbye to Riki, you police and all. And the devil go with you, called Erin Go Bra. So come all young people, wherever you're from, I don't give a darn what place you belong. I've traveled through Ireland, Scotland and all, and I never took being called Erin Go Bra.
Nice job. Real nice job. You guys are so good together. I mean, we were talking about chemistry earlier. You guys blend so well. And then I see you playing the mandolin. I'm thinking, the minstrels. Remember the minstrels used to stroll around and play the mandolin? I love the mandolin.
Yeah.
And to be able to play that, and do you sometimes steal Mindy's banjo?
Yes,
and just
he plays the banjo very well. Yeah.
So you're like multi-dimensional here. You play
Both
everything.
I mean, I think everybody in our band plays like a few different instruments, so it's a
You
lot
play
of
bass fiddle?
switching and.
Actually, he laid the bass down on our first record.
For real?
Yeah.
So anything with a string, you're like the man.
Most of
Yes.
them, yeah.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes.
Got a few
He's
in there.
modest, but it's
He's very modest, but you could tell. I mean, you're very proficient. You guys are work really well together.
Thank you.
So
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? But that's the key.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I still have a lot of fun. And if you don't have a lot of fun, I mean, I get up in the morning. I'm not grumpy. The only thing I'm grumpy about is driving. As far as I have to drive down here to work, get on 248, single lane. But other than that, once I get here, I love it.
Right. Sure.
Still puts a smile on my
That's
face.
great.
Love what I do.
I love radio. Radio has always been like my big thing. Like when we put out the record and we put it out to a lot of radio stations, it was such a rush when you would hear it's being played in Minnesota or Alaska. I mean, that was it is still so exciting. Radio is just
It's
such
fun.
a.
I mean, radio's in my blood, and then this is radio and TV, and then you can go on to PennSpeakRadio.com, go to the live stream, and you can look back and listen back to this in perpetuity.
Right, which
So
is
it's
really
cool.
exciting.
It is exciting. It's a lot of fun. Well, I thank you guys for being here. That's the River Drivers, Kevin and Mindy.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
my pleasure. When
inviting
Mark
us
always
on.
tells me he's going to bring people, I'm like, this is so exciting for me. I love to hear new music, and people of different genres come in and just display their talents. It's amazing.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes,
and
thanks.
We're excited to be a part of the Musikfest, and really honored. So.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, Mark does a great job. Mark and his whole team and all the volunteers, and the beer tents are always have my mug. I love those. Mark always brings me a mug every year. I always look for it. My wife goes, "You think Mark's gonna bring us another mug?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mark always hooks us up, so he does a good job. So, Mark, now with the food, you guys did something a little different with the food, where people could buy food coupons in advance and those kinds of things this year. Something new every year. You come up with something more innovative.
Absolutely. For the first time in our 35-year history, we offered our food and beverage tickets, which are the currency, if you will, to purchase food and beverage at Musikfest in advance. We had a one-day sale last weekend, went very well. People were excited. Also, we did some offers for some select discounts and specials on
buy one get one free
shows and things like that. But we always try to do something different with the food every year, just like we do with the music. We have about 38 or 40 individual food vendors this year, about 55 in all. So some of the vendors have 2 and 3 stands at the festival. And this year we have 6 new vendors, including the Flying V, which I'm pretty excited. They do a variety of takes on the Canadian classic poutine. So they're a food truck, and they're going to do poutine.
Loves poutines.
And each year we try to bring in new vendors, like we bring in new artists. Like last year we brought in Humpty's Dumplings out of the Philadelphia area. They were actually voted the best new food vendor at Bonnaroo in 2016, and they do these amazing handcrafted dumplings. But anyway, where I'm going with all this is this year we
My stomach's growling.
we started something called the Hungry Games, and we've asked each one of those 38 individual vendors to submit their signature dish. So, for example, like if the Bethlehem Dairy Store does these decadent, amazing Belgian waffles, everybody submitted their favorite dish. So you have one dish in this competition, and then the public's going to be able to come to Musikfest, sample them, and vote for their favorite. And we're going to name our first ever Hungry Games winner, or Best of the Fest food vendor. We've never done that before, so we're excited. It's great for the vendors. It's great for the people who come for the festival. And so we're always trying to work in different elements with our food. A lot of people come to the festival for the food as much as the music, and we do try to theme the food to the music venue. So, for example, at Volkplatz, our world place in German, you're going to go there, and that's where you're going to find your Greek, your Mediterranean, your Latino foods and things like that. If you go to Festplatz, which has its origins in the Germanic history of Bethlehem and the region, there you're going to find your German-based food like brats and things like that. At Plaza Tropical, you have a variety of Latino food. So we try to theme the food to the music venue as well.
And I bounce around every one. You know, always have to get the ice cream, always have to get the pulled pork, always have to get the, and it's phenomenal. So I have to rank it where I go for the music, and then the food's a close second, and the beer's a close third. So it's just, and then I always run into a lot of people I know down there. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a good time. You know, we're just going to stay for a couple hours. Last year we forgot to pick up our daughter at work. Because we were having so much fun. Oh, we got to get Rosie. Duh. And it kind of slipped our minds. But it happens. Hey, can you pick up our daughter? So you know, neighbors help out. But it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. So if you need more information, you go to musikfest.org, and you can go to /lineup, and you can go to /free and see the music. And then Styx and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are going to be there too, another big act on the main stage. So it's just so much. So Jim Gaffigan this year. So you're bringing a comedian. I like that idea. I love Jim Gaffigan. He is so funny. So I know it's usually music, but now you bring in, I know Jerry Seinfeld was there a couple years back, but now you bring in Jim Gaffigan. So big name comedians, Mark. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. When we opened Steel Stacks, one of the new programming elements that we added in was comedy. And so we've actually brought in about 750 different nationally, regionally, and local comedians since we've opened.
Oh, wow.
And to put that in perspective, the Lehigh Valley had 2 improv troupes when we opened Steel Stacks. Now there's more than 20. And so we have a lot of local improv troupes that do comedy shows regularly at Steel Stacks and things like that. But a couple of years ago, as we were programming the festival, we said time is right to look for the right comedian to bring in and put on our main stage, Musikfest. And the name music's right in the name.
Right.
But we're a music and arts festival. How can we work that in? The opportunity to bring in Jerry came up. We did it. It was a huge hit with the audience. And so this year when Jim Gaffigan was available, we looked at that. And so we're excited to bring him back. It's only the second time in 35 years that we have a comedian on our main stage.
And he's family friendly too, which is really good. And same with Jerry Seinfeld. You want somebody that's going to be family friendly. You don't want somebody that's going to be vulgar and offensive. And those two fit the bill. So that's a good call. And I saw Jim Gaffigan, my daughter's like, I love him. He's so funny.
Yeah, we're really excited.
He does that silly voice. He raises his voice. Oh, how good, you know. And it just makes me laugh. You know, but he's got 5 kids. You know, I mean, God love him. I have 2, and that's why I'm bald. It's just, I can't imagine 5. You know, so good for him. But Mark, thank you so much, and Mindy, Kevin of the River Drivers, thank you very much for coming in here. So Musikfest kicks off August the 3rd, wraps up on the 12th with a big fireworks display and everything else, and should be a lot of fun down there along the shores of the river on both sides, the south side and the other side. I'm usually eating all the food over there, and I hop across and I go over to the concerts later on. But just something for everybody, whether it's food, whether it's entertainment, whether it's just hanging out and having fun and going around and getting all the free stuff from all the vendors. I had a lady last year. A lady had a bag full of stuff, and she's like, "Oh, and there was some kind of a treat she gave me." She was, "Oh yeah, sure. Hey, anything free. It's for me." So it was fun. So there's something for everybody down there, and it's just a really good time. Mark, real quick, I don't put you in a spot. What's your favorite food?
my favorite food at Musikfest.
Festival, yeah.
So we have two vendors who have been there the longest. One is the Bethlehem Dairy Store, and one is Carl
Their
Amer.
ice cream so
Every year when the festival starts, I actually have a Vienna hot dog from Carl Amer. They have been involved with the festival, both of them, since I believe the second year. So again, 34-year history out of 35 years coming to the festival. They do it, and they do it because they want to give back to the community. They want to be involved in this festival, make it possible for so many other people to come out. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into the festival. Same thing with the food vendors. They've got to gear up to feed that many people, but they love it, and they've both been involved for a long time.
Yeah, Carl Amer Meats, I mean, they've been around forever, and high quality, good quality, products. And then the Bethlehem Dairy Store, oh my God. My middle name could be ice cream. It's really good. So you guys got to get over and have some
We will.
great ice cream.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to Kevin and Mindy of the River Drivers and my good buddy Mark Demko from Musikfest to be here with me right here on Penn's Peak Radio's Morning Lifeline.